Okay, everybody, welcome back to Smoky Medic Barbecue. For today's video, we are going to be cooking a chicken. We got a whole chicken here. This is just a normal store-bought chicken. My wife does not want her smoked. She'd rather have it grilled. So what I'm going to do is spatchcock this and cut it in half. Um, and so that way I can cook it her half on the grill and put my half in the smoker to get some flavor on there. So for those of you that are not familiar, spatchcocking is just cutting out the backbone. So you cut on either side of the backbone and remove that, and then from there we can cut the chicken in half, and we'll have the two halves to work with. This one, as you can see, is still a little frozen in the middle, which is not a big deal. One thing you want to make sure you do, um, depending on the brand of chicken, you will have the pack of giblets and whatnot, the liver and all that will be in there. So you want to remove that, get that out of the way. This thing is very cold. So you just take a regular pair of kitchen shears. You could use a knife if you want. Um, it's definitely a lot safer to use the shears, however. And you just cut, like I said, on either side of the backbone. And you're going to go all the way down. And so that's half of it there. So we're going to take the whole backbone out. Some people do save these to make stocks and whatnot. Um, we're just going to be throwing this out today. There's not really any meat or anything on the backbone itself. So once we have a little bit of skin here holding that on, no big deal. There we go. So we got the backbone removed. I do like to do this in the sink just because it's less of a mess to clean up. So we gotta break, the hard part is breaking this breastbone. Gotta kind of get in there a little bit. Put these back together. Okay, so we're just gonna cut this right down the middle. My shears have to be sharpened, as you can see. Okay, so we got that cut in half. So from this point, all we got to do is get it seasoned up. We're not going to cook these just yet. Um, we're going to get them seasoned up and give the salt a chance to dry out the skin a little bit and soak into the meat. So bring you back in just a minute when we're ready to season these up. Okay, so for the seasoning today, we're just keeping it simple. We got the Cosmo Q SPG, so this is just salt, pepper, garlic mostly. There are some other spices in there. I just have this in an extra shaker that we had laying around. Um, so what we want to do first is kind of just take a paper towel and pat the skin dry here. There's still going to be a lot of moisture on there from the packaging and whatnot, so we want to dry that out, give it a little bit of a head start. I promised the sink was clean before I did this. We're going to have to obviously clean it again before or I should say after we're done. But you always want to start with a clean sink. So we're going to pat those both dry. Take this off so I can grab the seasoning here. And from this point, you just want to season up both sides. I usually do start with the meat side first. This one I don't feel is super salty, so you can kind of go on a little heavy. So we're going to set that on our sheet tray here. Once again, we just use a regular sheet tray with the wire rack underneath, so the meat's not sitting in its own juices. Make sure that you don't want to wash away the seasoning and whatnot that you're putting on there. So we put our 2/2 on. Let me take this off. So I'm going to hold this over the sink so we're not making a mess on the counter. And we're just going to season up the skin side here. The earlier you do this, the better. It does kind of help dry the skin out a bit. So we'll get both of those halves. We'll do this one. All right, so that we get those seasoned up, I'm going to be putting those into the fridge in the garage until we're ready for to throw these on the grill, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to do that. Okay, everybody, I hope you can hear me. It's very windy in northern Illinois once again. So what we're doing right now is we're just getting the charcoal and everything set up. We're going to be cooking half of that chicken in the pit barrel cooker. So what I've got right now is the charcoal basket filled about halfway with just regular Kingsford, the white and blue bag. And as you can see, I got a fire starter down there now in the ash catcher. So what we're going to do, I'm sure I'll get lit up in the comments, and that's fine. There's 100 different ways to start a pit barrel. I'm going to show you the way that I like to do it. If you do it differently, let me know. I'm okay with that. But for now, I'm going to show you the way that I like to do it. So I always fill the charcoal basket up with however much charcoal I feel like I'm going to need for the cook. Sometimes you do have to add more, obviously. But all I do is put the fire starter underneath. We're going to put this on top of the ash catcher, and it'll lock into place. Sometimes it takes a little finagling, but we'll get this locked on here. Just like that. We're going to light our fire starter. Maybe with the wind. Okay, so that's burning. So we're just going to drop this in the barrel for now. Let that start catching. Takes about maybe 15-20 minutes. I'm not sure if you've used a pit barrel before, but you do have these pieces of rebar that come with it as well. These serve a couple different purposes. The manufacturer does recommend that you put it in regardless if you're hanging food or not, just because it does help with the airflow. So there's holes on both sides. We're just going to put these in. And there are hooks, which I will show you in a little bit. We're going to use one of the hooks to put through the chicken and hang it from the rebar there when we do our cook. So stick around, and we'll bring you back when we're ready to put the meat on. Okay, so it was kind of hard to do on the camera. I do apologize. I'm the only one doing this. I just have my phone on a tripod. I will show you. The hook just goes through the chicken. You want to make sure you get it in there enough that that it's going to hold during the cook. So now that we have that on there, all we're going to do, since this is up to temperature, is it just hangs here on the rebar. And we have one little piece of pecan here. I personally prefer pecan with poultry. I think it's really a really good pairing. So we're going to put that right over the lit coals. And we're going to let that do its thing. What's nice about the pit barrel is it's really like a set it and forget it type of cooker. So at this point, we don't really have to do much other than monitor the temperature of the meat. So we'll check on it again in about 45 minutes or so. I'm sure it'll take, I think it'll take about an hour, hour 15. Shouldn't take too long. It was pretty much 100% defrosted. So yeah, we'll check on the temperature and I'll bring you back and we'll see how it's looking. Okay, so I just temp this. We're at about 145 in the deepest part of the breast. But I thought I'd just give you a look at what we got going on here. So we're going to probably in about another 5-10 minutes, we're going to pull this to let it rest. But yeah, that's what we're looking at so far. It's looking pretty good. As you can see, the flame is starting to go up pretty well just from between the grease, and we opened the lid, so we got all that air coming in there. So we're going to close the lid, and I'll bring you back when we're pulling this off. All right, so this is at 160 internal on the breast. So what we're going to do is pull this off and let it rest for about 10-15 minutes, and we'll be ready to slice into it. As usual, for any slice of meat, you want to let it rest for a while. Steak, chicken, fish, whatever it is that you're cooking, you want to make sure you let it rest before you slice into it, because you don't want to lose all that juice. You want to give it a chance to settle down and absorb all that juice back, because if you slice into this right now, it's just gonna run away and you're gonna be biting into a dry piece of meat. So I'm gonna pull this off and we'll bring you back in for the final product after it's rested and we're ready to start slicing into it. Okay, so that's our finished product, as you can see. And we've let it rest for about 10-15 minutes and we're going to start slicing into it, and that's going to be dinner tonight. So thank you for joining, and we'll see you for the next video.